The process begins with the laborious task of separating the copper from the steel stators before it is meticulously sorted by hand. The sorted copper is meticulously packed, ensuring quality for the next stage of melting. The first step in the process is meticulously sorting the reclaimed copper by gauge and coating.
In this laborious stage, copper wires are fed into the roaring furnace, the intense heat burning away the
The molten copper, glowing intensely, is carefully poured into the sand molds. This is where the
The sand molds must be perfectly smooth before the molten copper is poured. This scraping ensures a flawless finish.
With practiced precision, the master craftsman hammers the recycled copper, shaping the raw disc into a traditional pot.
The copper is carefully cut and then rolled to achieve the required thickness for the pots.
You must keep the pressure steady along the curve, otherwise it will buckle.
Okay, let's try together. Push down hard on your side. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
The master craftsman must carefully hammer the copper to achieve the perfect curve, a process that requires immense skill and strength.
Keep it steady, boys. Heavy one today. Almost there, just past the furnace.
To prepare the surface for joining, the flux is applied to the searing hot copper. It immediately bubbles and turns to glass, ensuring a perfect seal.
The flux immediately sizzles and melts, creating a protective glassy layer over the superheated copper.
Using powerful blowtorches, the craftsmen heat the copper ring. This laborious process softens the metal, preparing it for the shaping stage.
The yellow paste is the flux, essential for cleaning the copper before we introduce the brazing rod.
The flux paste is essential for preparing the copper joint before it goes into the furnace.
The flux ensures the copper bonds correctly when heated in the furnace.
This yellow paste cleans the joint. Without it, the copper won't bond correctly when we heat it in the furnace.
The yellow flux paste is crucial for preparing the copper joint, ensuring a perfect seal before the tinning process begins.
We apply this yellow paste all along the seam before we heat it. It cleans the copper so the tin sticks.
This yellow paste acts as a flux, cleaning the copper and allowing the brazing alloy to flow smoothly when heated.
The apprentice applies a specialized flux paste to the copper ring joint before it is heated.
We use this yellow paste, the flux, to clean the joint. Without it, the copper won't fuse correctly when heated.
Here, the flux paste is carefully applied to the seam. This crucial step cleans the copper and allows the brazing alloy to flow evenly. The first step is applying the flux paste.
which cleans the copper and allows the joints to fuse correctly under heat. We apply the flux evenly across the seam. This cleans the metal and allows the tinning process to begin. We apply the flux meticulously to the joint before heating. This ensures a perfect seal and strengthens the copper pot.
The master craftsman applies a specialized flux to the copper joint, preparing it for the intense heat of the furnace. The craftsman applies a thick layer of flux to the copper joint. This prepares the surface for the tinning process. The master craftsman applies the flux paste meticulously along the seam, preparing the copper for the brazing process.
Here, a specialized flux paste is carefully applied to the copper joints. This ensures a strong bond when the metal is heated and hammered into shape.
The craftsman meticulously applies the flux paste to the copper ring before the tinning process begins.
The craftsman applies a specialized yellow flux to the copper joint, ensuring a perfect seal during the heating process.
This yellow paste is the flux. It cleans the copper before we apply the tin.
Here the craftsman applies a layer of flux to the copper joint. This ensures the metals bond cleanly during the heating process.
The gray flux paste is applied meticulously to the copper joint before the heating process begins. This ensures a strong, clean weld.
The craftsman meticulously applies a specialized flux paste to the copper joint, preparing the metal for the high.
The master craftsman inspects the cooled copper, ensuring the material is flawless before the shaping process begins.
After cooling, the copper rings must be meticulously cleaned before they can be shaped into pots.
This meticulous hand polishing is essential to remove the oxidation, preparing the copper for the shaping process.
After cooling, the copper is meticulously checked for imperfections before the shaping begins. This ensures the quality of the final pot.
The apprentice must meticulously polish the cooled copper, revealing the luster beneath the patina before it can be shaped.
Once the rings have cooled, they are meticulously cleaned by hand, a vital step before they can be rolled and shaped into pots.
Once cooled, the copper is polished by hand, revealing the vibrant metal beneath the oxidized layer.